every time.
Hey, Michelle, Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year, Mel. It's wowie 2022, eh?
hmm I'm very happy to be here. I'm grateful to be here joining you today. How are you feeling going into 2022 here?
Well, you and I are just talking offline. I'm in my intention setting mode because anyone who's followed me for as long as I've been in my business, which is 6 years now, will know that I am an unashamed crap goal setter. So I don't set goals, but I do set intentions, and I set these words that I get guided by. So I'm in my words mode at the moment. So I'm feeling very intentional, and I know intentional and deliberate is going to be one of my words that guides me. So yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good.
Okay, I love that. Let's talk about that a little bit. So being deliberate and we inside a career that soars have been making some very deliberate, thoughtful changes. Maybe you could tell our audience a little bit about that.
Yeah. So we have been in, well, we've had our network, a career that soars for 2.5 years, and it's kind of been it's been like a lot of things that start up. It's been testing and learning and iterating, and I don't say the P word, pivot, there you go, I just said it anyway, but changing, trying to, we test and learn. We test what works and what doesn't work. And after 2.5 years, we know that we have members who are seriously invested, and really, they want a lot of value out of the network. So we moved our network to a completely paid network instead of a free network with some paid options. That was number one. And the reason is because we've got these engaged members who do pay to be there, and we want to give a lot of value, that we want our members to derive a lot of value. And part of that has been around saying, what is it? What are the needs, the unmet needs of the women who come and join us? And the women who come and join us are from all over the world. They are working in organisations, and often, not always, but often don't have access to mentors, don't have access to formal leadership training, but don't have access to a network of other ambitious working women. And so we got really deliberate about, so what is that woman at any career stage, that ambitious working woman who wants to have a career that soars, what does she want, and what does she need, and what does she want to give? So we've been very intentional about resetting our network, organising it so it's it's a shit hot experience for all of our members. There you go, my first swearing for the year online.
Yeah. And I want to add, so you definitely don't need to be a woman in a male dominated field to be a part of a career that soars. But I will say that a handful of women, myself and several women from my network, to be sure, there's a cohort of us who do come from those spaces, and it can be very helpful, regenerative to have space where you can be supported by other women. But and then there's other circumstances too, like you and I have talked about before. Oftentimes ambition is not something that is a quality embraced in women, or it's cast in a negative light. And
Yep.
a career that soars provides a place where you can be unabashedly, unashamedly open with your career and life ambitions and find support in that.
100%. And I want to come back to the piece. There's a lot of, let's face it, there's a lot of women who are in male-dominated fields, particularly when it comes to leadership, because we know that leadership is still dominated by men across the world. And leadership in and of itself, no matter what gender you identify with, can be lonely. In fact, the more senior you get, the less peers you have and the more lonely it becomes. So leadership can be a lonely place. Leadership can be an extraordinarily lonely place where you feel like other if you're a woman or identify as a woman of colour or LGBTIQ+, etc. So it is, you're right, it is extraordinarily important, and I have found it important in my career to be in environments where I don't have to armour up, where I don't have to justify my position at the table, where I can just be. And that is, and we know from research that that's hugely important and beneficial for women. So That's absolutely what we're about as well.
Yeah. So let's talk about a couple of things that are happening. So we wrapped season 3 of Lead to Soar, and we left you all with, I feel like, some goodies there at the end. So there's a couple of great episodes that we dropped there in December, ending season 3. We've got a little break happening now, but I don't know. Do you want to say anything about, especially that last episode? You did a fantastic job facilitating among, 4 panelists plus
members. Yeah, it was so much fun, and frankly, it was a bit of a breeze for me because I didn't have to do a lot of talking. I just asked a lot of other people to do the talking. So, yeah, I think they were really 2 really important episodes. The number 49 was, help, I've got a shit boss, and I know, I recall what it's like to have some holidays and then think, oh God, I've got to go back to work. So I would encourage anyone who's having that, oh my God, I've got to go back to work, listen to episode 49, help, I've got a shit boss or a shit environment. What can I do about that? And then, number 50, we talked about the great insert whatever term, resignation, reset, retention, whatever it may be. But what I loved was that we put a different slant on it. I don't reckon there's ever been a better opportunity for women in the workforce than right now. We have an employee market, and this is the time. Well, it's the time for leaders to step up and say, holy crap, I need to get my workplace culture right, particularly for working women. But it's now time for women to say, hey, this could be my chance to reset my career, find the place, whether it's a role in the same company or in a different company or whatever it may be. But these are the discussions we have in a career that soars. Is it time to move? Yes, no. If not, why not? Blah, 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 blah. So, really good episode on things to look out for. And you and I are going to do an episode around what do you do when you start a new job? What are the things you want to pay attention to? Some really practical stuff that is meant to help women reach their full potential, irrespective of what access they've got to, resources. But yeah, I'm very excited.
I am too. So if you're just joining us here on the live today, we're talking about the network, A Career That Soars, where we offer courses and support for professional, ambitious women, and our associated podcast, Lead to Soar. And you can find both of these at their names.com. So acareerthatsoars.com and leadtosoar.com. Michelle, to kind of bring this all into a pretty little gift for our listeners today, could you tell us maybe some of the things you'd most like our listeners to know about what's coming in A Career That Soars this year?
I'm really excited by the fact that however you want to interact with us, there is a way, because I know that not everyone's like me that jumps into new groups or online networks or whatever and goes, yeah, here I am. People say to me, Michelle, I'm a member, but I just lurk. I just like to look and watch. And I go, okay, that's fine. So we have regular, thoughtful articles with actionable insights and tools and resources. So for members who want to just consume as they want to consume. We have brand new, we have a live chat stream. So it's not posting articles, it's literally a live chat for our members so that they can just post a quick comment or whatever, or Happy New Year, or hey, I need a hand, or someone got a contact, or whatever. So that's new live chat, which is really awesome. I was chatting with some of our members yesterday. Every week I'll be hosting a career conversation. So our career conversations, it's an hour of power every single week at a time that I know will work for our US and Australian, New Zealand, Asian members, but every week. So it's a drop-in session to boast, borrow and brainstorm. What's going on? What do you need help with? So I'll be there to help. Other members will be there to help. But every single week we offer that. So it's basically an hour of executive coaching every single week. Every month, we'll do an interview with an inspiring woman from across the world. She might be a CEO, she might be a founder, she might be an author, she's someone that we think, wow, that's a role model. So we'll be interviewing her as part of Career Q&A. We'll have a workshop every month, which again will be based on our content from No Ceiling, No Walls and Make the Most of Mentoring. So again, learning experiences. And then every quarter we have our courses, Your Mantle of Leadership, Get Shit Done, the book club discussions. And Mel, you're also going to start something new this year as well. And I'm really keen to hear more about that.
Yeah. I have been working on a couple of courses. So one is sort of an expansion on something I did last year. So I did a short little thing focused on goal setting last year, and I've expanded this into something a bit more because of all the reading I've been doing, all the things that I've been learning that I want to incorporate into this to help the folks who decide to take the course to go a step beyond just getting clear on the goals and taking it into the steps that you need to take, the habits that you need to begin forming in order to be successful in the goals that you set. So I'm really excited about that rolling out. And then I've been working on something else for young professionals, a course that I think is going to help people take the next steps in their career. And this is something that a young professional asked me to do after taking another course that I did. They asked for something that would help them with some of the next steps in their career, kind of like going from that entry level to the next level up, right? Where you start to take on more responsibility and build your reputation more, things like that. So lots of great things.
It's a big transition, that one, that because there are two main transitions, and that first transition from just out of college, individual contributor into my next level of seniority, whether it's leading people or not. And there's, we don't talk about it a lot, and we know that. Harvard Business Review published a report, and I think the Women at Work report by McKinsey talks about the broken first rung. Mm-hmm. And that first rung, this is a really important course for that first rung to not make it broken, albeit some of it's system, but for those women to be able to identify, how do I jump onto that first rung? What are the things I need to be on the lookout for? So I think it'll be a great one for you.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, and I completely agree. I think this highlights another thing that's really great about a career that soars, which is, sometimes we find ourselves in positions in our career where it doesn't feel quite safe to ask the questions about, maybe you've just made it into that next step, or you're trying to get there, and it doesn't quite feel like you can ask the questions at work directly. We can provide some of that guidance and certainly the space to get peer feedback on things like that. So yeah, definitely something that I'm looking forward to as well. And yes, I know we're coming up on time. Do you have any last thoughts you want to share with us?
Just come and join us. If you're a woman at work, a woman who's working in a workplace, no matter how big or how small, we want you to come and join us and really benefit. 145 US per annum, which someone did say to me the other day, less than a cup of takeaway coffee a week. I went, okay, that's, I don't necessarily talk about price. I talk about value, but it's an investment in yourself, and frankly, it's a pretty small investment. So we'd love to see you over there.
That's right. I would love to see you in there. Visit us at acareerthatsoars.com. And yeah, that's what we've got for you today. So here's to your career success in 2022.
100%. All right. We'll see you next week, folks. See you, Mel.
Bye.